Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and salam sejahtera. Welcome to the Higher Education Virtual Expo 2023 webinar session. With me today is Yang Mulia, Dr. Zulkifli bin Ismail from University Technology Brunei, who will be presenting a topic on Masters in Architecture by Coursework. Without further ado, I invite you to start your presentation.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator from MOE. Assalamualaikum warahmatullah and good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Higher Education Virtual Expo webinar. Let me introduce myself first. I'm Dr. Zulkifli Ismail from University Technology Brunei. Currently holding the position of the Architecture Program Leader for School of Design, University Technology Brunei. And today I will explain and represent the information about our new program of Masters of Architecture in University Technology Brunei. And the program of Masters of Architecture, the objective of the program is to provide architecture studies at postgraduate level to meet the sustainable development goal, such as the sustainable cities and communities, affordable and clean energy, SDG 9, as you can see in the slide there, and also for Brunei Darussalam wawasan 2035 wawasan Brunei Darussalam Sustainable Development. The program actually is the requirement of the program. We are follow the RIBA procedures for validation, 2021 regulation. And this actually the program is continuing from the previous program at part 1 undergraduate level. This master's program is actually the part 2 or the second stage of the process to become a qualified architect. The program aims for local and international recognition from professional bodies, such as from BAPEQS, Board of Architects, Planners, Engineers, and Quantity Surveyors for Brunei Darussalam, and also try to fulfill the RIBA requirement by achieving standard to prepare students with the skill of a 21st century architects who utilize space through quality design and shape the environment to leave positive legacy for future generations. The survey was conducted before we start to decide to running the program to identify what actually is the focus for the program. And the result from the surveys identified that the program should focus on environmental lands, such as urbanism and through the green building and the sustainability aspect. This actually in the slide shows the themes and values for the accreditation of the program. For Part 2 program, our values and themes according to the RIBA requirement will be focusing on the 6 aspects of health and life safety, ethical and professional practice, structures, construction and resources, also histories, theories and methodologies, the design pedagogies, and the architecture expression. And last but not least, it's also important to highlight the business skill values in the program. We also follow the graduate attributes as provided by the Royal Institute of British Architects, where there are 4 graduate attributes, which focus on research, on industry and professional bodies, sustainable practice, as well, and also last but not least, the employability aspect. As for Brunei Darussalam, this program actually we try to achieve 3 out of 12 requirement stated in the Brunei Vision 2035. This is the program achieved to fulfill try to achieve the high standard of living. Of course, to fulfill the sustainable environment needs, and also the another important thing is the community cohesion of Brunei Vision Brunei 2035. The curriculum actually is related to the industry related learning and on the expertise from architecture, urban planning, social sciences, and other related disciplines to facilitate the so-called the multifaceted nature of design. And the program will focus on 4 as core strength architectural practice, such as conceive, design, implement, and operate, or later we call it CDIO. This framework will extend the ability to research, think creatively and critically, analyze, self-appraise, and work collaboratively in teams. The CDIO embedded in PILO or program intended learning outcome of the program. If you see in the slide here, so all the PILOs actually map with CDIO. This embedded in the program will promote professional and creative skills in a series of research structured vertical design studios and run across 2 years program. So this part 2 is a 2 years program with 6 semesters, 4 semesters, sorry. This approach to embedded CDIO is a unique aspect of the program, which will be support the development and use of transferable skills across architecture practice and various other industries. So if you look at in the screen now, PILO 1 and PILO 2 is related to the concept part. 3 and 4 is for design, 5 and 6 for implement, and 7 and 8 for operate. Is divided equally according to the level of CDIO framework. Okay, the program also expect graduate to be an innovative designer and active researcher with formidable skill sets. So all modules are actually related to the urban architecture, including placemaking, regeneration and renovation, building adaptation, community empowerment, place mapping, and collaborative design. We try to implement the strategic objective of the university, the dynamic curriculum into our program. So the theme of this program is sustainable and effective environmental design, or later we call it SEED or SEED. It consists of two different years, which is the first year we will focus on the design studio based learning with sustainable design, urban design, and landscape design element. We will train or we will teach in the design studio for the first year. While we go to the second year, since the program is actually at the master's or postgraduate levels, so the second component of research element, design thesis, is the second part of the program. And design thesis, they will include the architecture practice, the application of theory of design, and also the research methodology focus on the design method. It will be carried out by students at the second half of the studies. This is the list of modules for 2 years and 4 semesters of the studies. Total CV or credit value is 240 CV. As I mentioned earlier, studio component is actually the core module for architecture studies. There are two level of studio, architecture design studio, 1 and 2, which the weightage of credit value is increasing when we go to the second part of the first year. The other module that support or will be applied into the design studio is the theory of design, and also the module of urban transportation and network. For the second semester, students will be equipped with the knowledge of the research methodology to prepare them with the second year of the design thesis studio. Second part. So they will equipped with this knowledge at the second semester, together with the landscape design and site planning. When you enter to the second year, they will start doing the research based on the proposal that have been developed in previous semester in research methodology in the built environment module. Students will go to the field and identify the issues and try to carry out research which will be focusing on the design method research. And also the other aspect that they have to consider in the research they be equipped in the semester 3 is the ecology and sustainable building system. And for the last semester, final semester, semester 4, they will continue design thesis 2, second part, and also they will, before graduate, they will equipped with the knowledge of the architecture management practice and laws. Okay, the program, the 2 years program, actually is a part 2 or the second stage to become the requirement from RIBA or to become a professional architect before they enter into if they want to become the professional architect. So the requirement for this program, the gender requirement by the government is at least after credit 6 in Malay language or or at SEO level and applicable for all Bruneian students to apply for government scholarship. Also, they have to at least credit 6 in English at SEO level, or IELTS score of 6 or TOEFL minimum overall 550 or equivalent. The other level of qualification also will meet to the program specification entry requirement. We will consider or we will look at the other relevant qualification. For specific program requirement, the minimum and program entry requirement is a Bachelor of Science in Architecture with at least second class honors or equivalent, or relevant work experience and qualification to be equivalent to the above if they have together with the Bachelor of Science, and it will be decided case by case basis on decided by the committee from the school. And the candidate have to prepare the portfolio containing of 6 pieces of original artworks that demonstrate their creativity and also the development in the creative process. The portfolio normally should include drawing, sketching, ideas that actually shows demonstrate the ability to show in something in 2D, such as the posters, photography, graphic artwork, painting, and also 3D works such as modeling, 3D papers, origami, structures, something mock-up model, packaging, and so on. So they have to bring all these 6 pieces artwork, put it in the proper portfolio, and they have to attend the interview and they have to explain their artwork and pass in the interview. So that the requirement to enter into the program, which is a related degree, Bachelor of Science, at least second class honors, and attend the interview with the portfolio at least 10 pieces of the original works that they have done. So the programs, before I end this my presentation, actually the program is the nature of the program is we want students to engage with the series of the design specific research collaboration with the academic expert, the practice-based tutors, external partners, and the student. So we tried in the program. The program was designed to develop this kind of engagement of the student in using the CDIO method of the CDIO concept design implement design method in the program. And later the work there will involve sharing design problem and investigate applied research approach that will form the basis for a design thesis and dissertation. So overall, the program we actually aims with the studio together with the industry environment. The first half will be more focused on the studio work, while the second half will be the student will be carry out research and go to the real field work to identify what is the issue and come up with the idea, the design idea, thesis, and to solve the issue community outside the campus. So that's all from School of Design, University Technology Brunei. Before end of this session, please, for those who are eligible or interested to become the UTB, join UTB student, please apply for this new program, Masters of Architecture Part 2 in School of Design UTB. Thank you, everyone. Again, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you very much, Doctor, for your insightful and informative presentation. Before moving on to the Q&A session, I would like to remind that we still have a few minutes left, and we have a few questions here from our YouTube viewers. The first question is asking, does UTB have any plans to offer PhD in architecture?
Okay, thank you for the question. We have currently we offer the postgraduate program at master's and PhD level, but by research. Any candidate interested to continue their study in architecture by research, they can apply anytime. And also the by research is program that actually there's no need to attend any classes. They only have to do research based on the guidance and the guidance by supervisor, and they will have to propose the topic for their research. So at the moment, UTB have the actually running the program by research for PhD, and for if you become the professional architects, at the moment, we only will start the program for masters by coursework at the professional route for those who aim to become the professional architect. However, if for those aim to become the expert, become an academician, become a researcher, they can choose this another route of masters and PhD by research. Yeah.
Thank you, Doctor. Another viewer is asking, in coursework masters, students will use AutoCAD in their syllabus as part of their final project. What will the final project look like?
Okay, thank you for the question. Very good question. Yeah, AutoCAD actually is nowadays is one of the tools for sketching, drawing. Yeah, we expose students to this kind of technology since they were in undergraduate level. For undergraduate level, we equip students with AutoCAD for 2D drawing. When they was at first year, and when they enter to the second year, for the first semester, they were exposed to 3D modeling. We now using Revit architecture software for 3D modeling and visualization. And the next step after 3D modeling, the student will learn BIM, Building Information Modeling. That this is three set of module is under a cluster of computer and technology in architecture. So that this software will help them to produce a drawing, digital drawing, and also will help them for presentation, 3D presentation, simulation, animation, and so on. So for part 2, since they be equipped with all these modules, that actually will help students to come to the idea, which is not only we are moved toward virtual ideas, no more on the papers. So basically, they can they can get the skill, this kind of skill to come with a very fantastic animation and precision to attract the client. Actually, this is the one skill that we will equip students is how to come with a very nice precision and try to fulfill what the clients need for the design, architecture design, and also the drawing.
Thank you, Doctor. Another viewer is also asking, does the master's program allow us to take BAPEQS architecture examination after completing 5 years of study because it is part of the requirements in order to sit for the QP exam?
Okay. We try to get a part two accreditation from both RIBA and BAPEQS. So once the program is accredited by this two board of architects, so that means there's no need to sit any exam. But if the program is not accredited, they will have to apply for the part two individually. To route to become the professional architect, they will have to sit for the exam when they want to apply for part three. So part one, part two will be carried out in the university, in any accredited schools. When they become the professional or chartered architect, they need to practice for a certain years, handle the project under supervision of the professional architect, fill in logbook, and then sitting for the exam and also the interview. That process will be handled by BAPEC or any board of architects, but not not at the for part two. After they graduate part two, they need to fill in notebook and follow the what actually requirement to sitting for the exam and to get part three and become a chartered architect then. That answer.
Thank you so much, Doctor. And with that, we end the Q&A session. Thank you again, Yang Mulia Dr. Zulkifli bin Ismail, for answering all the questions. We hope this session has been very beneficial for our viewers. With that, we conclude this webinar session. Should you have any further queries or in need of further information, you may browse through the University Technology Brunei booth on our Higher Education Virtual Expo website at heexpo.moe.gov.bn. Thank you for joining us. See you soon in our next webinar session starting at 2:30 p.m. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.